We're back.
Yeah,
We got some new stuff to talk about.
we sure do.
We got all your boring stories out of the way.
The boring
stories. So now this is going forward, this is gonna be sort of the
Fallon's boring stories.
Fallon's boring stories. This is gonna be sort of the dynamic. I'm gonna be throwing you questions and talking. We're gonna try and keep the episode short and sweet.
Right to the point.
I don't have a safe word yet, but I will snap or cut you off or say we got a couple minutes left until we get there. So
That's cool.
People listening or watching, just bear with us. We're getting there. But what did you do this week?
Oh, shit. Let's see. First of the week, I went into contract on a fix and flip in the Sacramento area. We had our first inspection Monday. We have another inspection this coming Monday, and then we'll be done so we can close on that. I've got 4 new rentals getting ready to come on the market. So unfortunately, 30-day notices from each of the tenants, all that good stuff, and kind of coordinate because 2 are up in the hills heading up to Placerville. The other 2 are out in the Bay Area. So I'll be a little spread on that. I worked a little bit on Paradise. I've got one of the houses we're building is almost ready. So we should be putting that on the market in the next 2 weeks, which is exciting. That's going to be a beautiful 3-bedroom, 2-bath with a den on a large parcel right there in Paradise. So I'm excited to bring another home back to that community. You know, they just got devastated. Yeah. 21,000 homes burned. So many lives impacted. So it just feels good to finally be at that point. It's taken me 2 years to get
you've been
everything.
working on that for a long time.
Yeah, it's been a long project. I've enjoyed it. You know, we've got more houses to come. I've got another one that we should be bringing to the market shortly as well. That's kind of early stages, pouring foundations, getting everything in motion. So worked on that. I also have a warehouse in Sacramento that we're putting a private money loan together for. So I'm working on getting that closed out. We just had our inspection and appraisal done. So that was this week. I also have a large development that we're funding. So we've got all that completed last week. So we had a call with the lender on Friday. So we should be getting our terms hopefully first part of this week. They just have to get their attorney to draft that all up. So that's a nice, I think 16 to 17 million on the development. The warehouse was 550 and and then a couple new clients that I've been speaking with that are unfortunately in a situation, they've fallen behind on mortgage payments. This moratorium has been released and they don't have those safeguards or protections. So now they're trying to work with their banks. So we're just trying to determine what's going to be the best next step. Is it get current? Is it refinance if they can? Unfortunately, most cases they can't refinance because their credit's gotten bad. But we look at all options. So got 2 clients right now that I'm talking to about that. And let's see what else. Oh, I went I went and had a beer at the Speakeasy on Thursday night, only to have a blast from the past. There was a YPN event going on. Had no idea.
What's a YPN event?
Young Professional Network. So a lot of our local, professionals came out. It was great, though. It was great to see people I haven't seen in years. But, it's kind of awkward at first. You're sitting there having a beer. I was by myself, just sitting at the bar having a beer. And these people were looking at me, and one actually took a picture. Finally,
that's always a good sign.
Yeah, I'm like, whoa, geez, this is kind of odd.
Put your fake mustache on, like I'm not getting arrested today.
Well, and that's it. For the longest time I had hair. Now, I don't have. I've got. But then they finally came up. And they're like, oh my gosh, are you Fallon? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, we knew it was. Oh my God. So that was cool. It was cool to just connect with some people I haven't seen in years, and then just had a real chill Friday and. Here we sit today.
Sweet. When do you sleep?
Usually between midnight and 6 a.m. But I don't usually like to get out of bed until I really have to. That lifestyle is nice. Most people don't want their phone to ring, or most people don't like appointments at 8 o'clock in the morning. No. So that's my time. My time is my mornings. It's really kind of
Feel you're most productive in the mornings, or
Not
you feel
at
like
all.
no,
Not at all.
That's just when everybody else wants to call you.
yeah, no. Well, no, actually, it's total. Most people don't call. I'll get some calls from the East Coast. When one of my partners was in Asia, when he was living there, Antoine, he would call at the craziest times because he was in China or he was in Thailand or he's in Singapore. So I'd get these crazy calls. But normally my phone doesn't really start ringing until 9, 10 o'clock is about normal for me there. So before that, it's about me. I could get up, I can have a nice healthy coffee. I like to gradually go into my day. I should probably go to a gym, but I would work out terribly in the morning because I'm just not there yet.
Not ready, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just not ready. And obviously I don't work out in the afternoons. So
Evening, you're ready to peak in the evening.
exactly.
The evenings are wide open
and that's
for
just,
you.
yeah, I'm just ready to have some fun at that point. So maybe I should say that'll be something we'll work on this year. Maybe we'll find a time slot to really put that.
Maybe we could do it. That'd be great content. We could work out on the podcast here.
Oh my gosh.
Get you on a treadmill.
Maybe
we could. You have a heart attack on a that'd be really good. We go live.
Oh, that would be just.
I'll be fielding you questions, making you fill out charts.
Sure, you don't. Maybe we'll go to the pool. I've got a great Speedo.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a wonderful podcast. I could do diving with Fallon. I'll go I hate heights. So it's just gonna be me falling off every time.
You're gonna have to put yourself out there, and you got to make this stuff just way over the top. We got to jackass this thing.
Okay. Yes. Well, I Jackass. Mentioning Jackass. We've got a good story. I've many times been a jackass. There was a time, I hate to admit, that I got fired from my job. I was in college and had a really cool job working at a boat center in Bellevue, Washington. Bellevue, Washington. Yep. So the lake was right down the street, and my job was actually pretty cool. All I had to do was take the boats to the lake, test them, make sure that they work, make sure that everything's working. I can't tell you how many times I've had to row myself back in, which was not fun because these things do break.
What's Fallon doing? He's rowing himself back.
Yeah, rowing a
There
boat. Yeah. And mind you, these were ski boats, so it wasn't like a rowboat. It was not easy, and usually someone would be nice enough to tow me in. But this one day, I go to the lake, and I'm telling you, Ty, it's pouring down rain. I get to the shop. There's 2 boats that needed to be tested that day, maybe 3. I knew I had to get back, so I wanted to get in and out as quickly as possible so I could get back and do the next boat. Well, the Suburban that I usually used to take the boats was in the shop. So I was like, what am I supposed to do? And the shop guy's like, well, figure it out. I'm like, all right, well, there's keys on the board. He's like, take a key and go. So I grab the keys. I go out and I hit the little chirper on the keys. Beautiful Pathfinder. I'm like, yes, this is awesome. So I hop in the Pathfinder. I hook up the boat. Again, it's pouring down rain. So I get down to Jean Coulon right there at the lake and on Lake Washington. And these guys, where you go in the entrance, are like, are you going to be long? It's pouring down rain. And we go down there quite often. So they knew that we would just test the boat and then come back. Because I would literally leave the truck and the trailer right there on the ramp. So I check in, I go down, I go to get the boat in the water. And Tyler, it's these boats, they come from Florida and they're on bunks. So moisture creates this just terrible, sticky, it holds the boats like glue. So I'd have to always dip the boat as deep as possible. So by this point, I've literally got almost the bumper of the Pathfinder in the water, but not quite. I get on the boat. Everything starts up fine. Everything looks good. I'm ready to go. And I go to release, drop it into reverse, and nothing's happening. I'm serious. I'm just like, I'm hitting the gas, and I am just doing nothing but sitting there, making all kinds of waves, doing nothing. It's just stuck.
In this brand new Pathfinder.
Brand new Pathfinder. So, and it's just stuck. I'm like, oh shit. So I put it in neutral. I'm sitting there. I'm like, okay, what do I do? Like, I can't get this boat off the trailer. It's stuck. So I put it in forward slightly and then drop it into reverse hard. Everything slides at that point. I throw it into neutral. I'm like, seriously, what just happened? The truck, everything slid. And I jump out the boat. I jump into the truck. I hit the gas in the Pathfinder. By that point, the bumper rear end had already slid into the water. As soon as I hit the gas, all I did was suck water up through the exhaust pipe. Engine stalls.
Oh, God.
I'm like, oh, shit. I go to open the door. Can't. Nightmare. Now shit is floating in the back of... I can see in my rearview mirror stuff floating in the back of the Pathfinder. We're taking on water. The truck is filling up. The windows are just steamed up at this point. I can't see anything. So I'm just sitting there going, oh my God, what am I going to do? I grab my pager. I'm like, oh, my pager. I put it up on the on the visor. I can't get my pager wet. So
what if I got an appointment right now?
Yeah, I'm an idiot. I'm about to sink in a truck in the lake. No one's around. All of a sudden, the water is about to my chest at this point. The dash starts to zap, like electrical popping. I'm freaking out. I'm like, oh my God. Okay, this shit's happening. Yeah. I hear this clank, 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 this just loud noise. You're going to be all right, dude. I'm like, what the hell? They brought the tractor down. They were connecting to the front of the Pathfinder. I'm like, thank God. Oh my gosh. I'm soaking wet. I'm just like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. They pull me out. I open the door and I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. By this point, there's this, I'll never forget it because these people just the looks on their faces when I stepped out of the car. If they had cameras, they would have all been taking pictures.
What year was this? I mean, this is 90 something?
This is like 92.
You had your pager.
Yeah, 92.
People were paging everybody. Hey, you got to come look at this idiot. BB, call me.
911. Yeah, I wish I could have called somebody.
Yeah.
I wish I would have had a video camera. Shit, that would have gotten viral immediately. I get out, the guys, I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. I run over to the Ivers. There's a little payphone. I call my boss. I'm like, Alan, I'm so sorry. I got bad news. He's like, what happened to the boat? I'm like, hey, honestly, the boat is fine. They're grabbing it right now.
Good news. Boat's fine. However.
Yeah, exactly. Are you sitting down? I have to let you know.
What's your warranty on
Yes, I hope it's a good warranty. Well, that makes the story even better. I said, Alan, the truck went into the lake. But we're all okay.
But we're all okay. He doesn't give a shit. He doesn't care.
He doesn't care. He hangs up on me. 15 minutes later, Alan and the shop guy pull up. And Alan is just, I can see him walking up, exploding. The what? Why are you driving this? Why are you driving this?
Well, we're past that now. So your Pathfinder's...
Yeah, I'm like, what do you mean?
Short, why am I... take the Pathfinder?
Well, come to find out, it was his brother owned a Nissan dealership. He lent him the truck.
Oh, my God.
It had 900 miles on it.
Oh, my God.
So the mechanic, he's over there. He takes the spark plugs out, turns the ignition. Water fucking comes out of the block. He finally got it to start, but nothing but blue smoke came out of the exhaust.
Yeah, it's shot.
Oh
my God.
Alan comes up. He didn't even hesitate to ask anything else. All he could say is he trumped me right there on the spot. You're fired. And he left. So he left. I'm at the lake. And remember, I said it was pouring down rain. It is pouring. I'm soaking wet. My pager's at least not broken.
Probably freezing.
Yeah, I'm soaking wet, freezing. Yeah, we are in Washington. Soaking wet. And now everyone is gone. The Pathfinder's still there because they got to get a tow truck, but it doesn't run. The boat is gone.
Yeah. So what happened to the boat? Is the boat just like off in the lake? It just is like, because the boat will float. We know that.
Yeah.
Boats float.
Yep, boats float real well. This one did great. So at that launch, once I stepped off the boat, or literally jumped off to get into the Pathfinder, it just kept and proceeded backwards, okay? Well, there's a wall. It's a big wooden retaining wall that's pretty high there at that spot. So,
like you can only go in and come
out. It's kind of a wake protector too, so the waves from the lake doesn't come in. So it's really calm right there. Well, it just backed up against that wall. So obviously it didn't go out to the lake, thank God. Wow. But it was just, one of those things. So everyone's gone. I'm by myself, sitting at the payphone. calling my friends, seeing if I can get a ride. Unfortunately, everyone just laughed. You're going to be fine. Finally, my girlfriend at the time came and picked me up, and, bad experience though. Sunk the truck in the lake, great times. But yeah, so that was a bad time.
That's hilarious. It's not funny, but like hearing it now is pretty hilarious.
I get fired for ruining a brand new, unowned, mind you. This is a dealer's car. and hey, props to Pathfinder. Nice truck. Doesn't pull boats well.
Doesn't.
The e-brake is a little loose.
At least just that year. Maybe they were still figuring it out.
That could have been it.
They didn't have. See, they don't have the testing for it. Now that they know people do this, they need to have like a, hey, new Pathfinder's coming out next year. We need to make sure that it can handle anything.
Absolutely. Nissan should give us a call. We're going to do it.
Yeah. Nissan sponsor us.
Yes. We're going to relive it. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, here in California, we'd have to get a water truck.
Your safety's going to go way up because you didn't die. Nobody was hurt. You told your boss nobody was hurt.
That's right. Mm-hmm. That's it. In today's day and age, though, person that like me that gets fired on the spot would have probably claimed
wrongful termination.
Yeah, some lawsuit. No, yeah, you're an idiot.
You're discriminating against me because you never taught me how to drive a Pathfinder.
Yeah, this is your fault that I sunk your truck in the lake, so I'm going to sue you. Yeah, isn't that crazy? Times have changed.
All right, next question.
Yes.
I'm looking to move. Should I buy? Should I rent? What am I doing?
Great question. Mm-hmm. So here we have a professional that's been in their job for a few years. That's really important. Because if you had just started in your job and you got a good promotion, that's fantastic. But from a lending standpoint, we want to see some history. 1 year on the job can help in some cases, but 2 is ideal. So you've got this track record. We know you're bringing home X amount of dollars. We know what your ratios are. So for that person, that would be my first question. How long have you been working on this job? 1 year, 2 years, or longer? Now you get a promotion, so your income goes up, and you want to determine, well, is it time to buy? When's the right time to buy? That's a good question that everyone wants to know. When's the right time to buy? It's always the right time to buy if there's the right need and you have a good plan. Just like selling, most people sell because of an event, a death, a divorce, distress situations, so on and so forth are the most common. And then you have moving up, moving down, scenarios like that. So there's always going to be real estate that's available, even though today our market's really tight. We have low inventory, which is driving that price through the roof. But for that first timer, here's this professional. They've been on the job a few years. They just had an increase in income. My advice that I would suggest for a young professional, let's just say they're single. They've had roommates up to this point. Well, let's just continue that path. You've got great news for your roommates. So you and your roommates in the next 60 days or less are going to be moving into a beautiful duplex or maybe a fourplex. So you can still utilize an FHA mortgage with as little as 3.5% down. You're gonna live in one half. So if it's a duplex, you're gonna live in one side, you're gonna rent out the other. So if it's a fourplex, same concept. You're gonna live in one unit and rent out the other. So depending on your needs, we would look at what would fit that mold as well as what fits your budget. So for that first-time home buyer or that professional that says, hey, I'm ready to buy a house, I would want them to look first at their future. Let's build a foundation because, you can go buy a house anytime. You can, move into that home and call it yours, but you still got to pay for it because most people are not paying cash for a mortgage. They have to get a loan. They have to put money down. They got to go to their jobby job to make sure that they still have the money to pay for all of these creature things that people think they need. So we would want to lay out a solid plan for that person. Again, I believe wholeheartedly that I would look at a duplex or a fourplex just for that reason, because eventually they're going to want to buy that next house, but they've created a foundation with a rental property. Hopefully they've gone in and maybe made some improvements to that unit. So I'd personally want to be shopping for something that has uptick, meaning it has need for some improvements. Maybe it's just a lipstick scenario where we got to replace the flooring and put some new paint up. and maybe redo some appliances, but nothing major. Things like that do bring value in the sense you can raise the rents. You've improved that property. It's a creature comfort as well. You're going to be living there for at least a year to 2 years. And you've got the benefit of a renter next door. So imagine, Ty, you've bought your first property. You have a, $2,500 mortgage payment. Well, that would be pretty high for a first timer, in my opinion.
$2,500 a month.
Yes.
Okay.
Taxes, insurance. But in today's market, in certain areas, that's what you're looking at. So how are you going to make that work? Well, if rent, which in today's market, rents, are skyrocketing. Now, we have restrictions. When we have a property that has been vacated, we can now rent that property back to the market at fair market. But what I'm seeing is we're taking some properties, for example, that are $1,800 a month in rent. Market rent's $2,300. So we're now raising that. If someone was living there at $1,800 a month, we're restricted on how we raise that. So there are many factors to look at. But in this case, a professional buying this duplex, $2,500 a month is their mortgage with taxes and insurance, but they're renting out the other side for $1,500 a month. And that would be a good deal in today's market. You probably could get more. But realistically, what is their monthly payment now? Only $1,000 a month for them to live on their side, $1,500 for the other. And you're in a position where you've now created an asset. To me, that would be the smart play for a professional getting started today is really build a foundation. We all need a roof. We all need a home. It has to be affordable and it has to be practical. Sometimes people need roommates. That's okay. All of that's important so that you're not in a situation where you're sleeping on the streets. And we have a crisis today with all these homeless people, families, children. We have a problem that is significant. Unfortunately, we can't fix that ourselves. It takes a lot of factors. And affordable housing is a problem today. But again, for this professional, my advice is simply look for the proper residence, because imagine that residence fully rented now making you $1,000 a month income that you're now going to apply on your next mortgage as you continue to grow your foundation for wealth. And that's where wealth is built.